Black magic, black ones, mathematics, black funds, black's classic, black's fun. We get blacker in the sun, love my black ones, black future, black bonds, black's bills, black's run, black empress, black con. We get blacker in the sun, love my black ones. The will of the ancients in great devotion, cultivated the magic of making potions, the seed of the planets who birthed the cultures, the first nomadics to chart the oceans, but much more than the profit from all the slaves. So please don't tell me how to behave. This one's for the ones still in the grave. Fist up, I'm up fighting for change. Up late, working hard, going stupid. To Martin Luther King Jr. dreams looking lucid. The loudest voices in the room afraid of being muted. The power's in the truth, that's why.
Oh, we got Jason's lyric. It's an emotional one right there. That's a good one. All right, we got Sabrina from Maryland.
No, not Sabrina, that's Sakina.
Sakina, my bad. You know I can't see.
He's visual.
You know. And what's the favorite movie name?
She's from Maryland, and favorite black love movie is Love Jones.
There we go. We were just talking about the sequel to Love Jones. Don't know if you've seen it. It's a featuring Rachel. Oh man, that's gonna be the theme of the whole year, Rachel. I hope you're prepared every. All right, let's get some conversations started. Thank y'all for joining us. Go ahead and stop sharing. If you haven't introduced yourself in the chat yet, feel free to go ahead and put your name, the city that you are repping, and your favorite Black love movie. This is your first time. My name is Devon Travell, Director of Community and Curriculum Development for the Institute of Melanated Innovation. And for the first time, I got my queen on for the first time with me. Come on, you want to do a soft little intro too, queen?
Just a little something. My name is Sinclair Walker, and I'm wife.
Beautiful, yes, that and much more. But Black Future Month was really created to create an intentional month of collaborative programming to envision a positive and prosperous Black future. In case you're wondering if we're trying to replace or compete with Black History Month, that is definitely not the intent at all. We think there can never be too much Black excellence, Black brilliance, and melanated genius in one year. So while we have February, shout out to the Honorable Carter G. Woodson, we want to make sure we can have another intentional month of programming to envision specifically what the future of Blackness in America and around the world can look like. Hence, Black Future Month. So we appreciate y'all joining us for this event. Hopefully y'all have had a good month with us. To give you a recap of what we did, we started off with a powerful Black Health Roundtable that was led by the Queen herself. Brother Marlon was also on that, talking about mental health and making sure you balance, much appreciated. We then went into Black education, where we had Dr. Banks lead that conversation along with some other folks as well. I believe Rachel was on there. We had Josiah on there. We had Maquiva on there. So it was a really good one. Black Wealth was led by Star Melanson. She is the director and founder of She Building Her, really making sure that women, specifically in the Bay Area or the Oakland, California area, but also all around the world, have a healthy relationship with money. So we did that on Juneteenth, talking about generational wealth, investing, and what freedom really is. And right now, you are tuned in live and direct to the Black Love Roundtable, which will be led by Miss Jakayla Leathers very, very soon. All right. So, as we said in the beginning, Black Future Month is powered by IMI, aka the Institute of Melanated Innovation. If you want to learn more or get more resources, you can go to junebfm.com in order to see some recaps, some social media, and some frequently answered questions. Or if you want to learn more about what IMI is doing to increase Black study curriculum worldwide, you can also go to imifoundation.com. So without further ado, let's get into the love. So we have a really good, diverse panel of people today. Again, we have Jakayla Leathers from Next Level Consulting. If you are trying to take your business to the next level, your brand to the next level, she is going to be someone who can definitely help you out. Mom, entrepreneur, wife extraordinaire, going to lead this panel with us. Also on the panel, we got Marlon Green, a powerful and passionate educator. We got game designer and also the star of Love Jones 2, Rachel in the house, the creators of Trap Wars and founders of Famfoolery. We got our sister, right, our family, Miss Mika, the medicine woman, on here to talk about holistic healing and loving yourself. And then we also have Alexis Welch from the Spill It card game team, trying to make sure that we're having deep and intentional conversations, but also having a lot of fun while we talk with our family. So without further ado, I'm gonna pass it on off to Miss Jakayla and our panelists to get us started today. Oh, you're muted. I feel the fire though, Jakayla. I feel the fire.
Just kidding. No. I was saying thank you guys, first of all, for just being here and participating in this. Like, I think this is something that's very important for our community, very important for our people. And it's just nice to put voices out there, you know, just to hear from, you know, other Black individuals who have stories and, you know, information to share, just like, you know, all of us. So I'm so happy to be a part of all this. So happy to get to hear from all of you guys. And I'm ready to get started. Y'all ready to get started? All right. So I guess the first thing we can go ahead and do is just kind of go ahead and just introduce yourselves. On my screen, the first person I see is Miss Rachel. So if y'all just want to go down the line and introduce, let us know who you guys are, you know, what it is you do, a little bit about yourselves, and then we'll go ahead and ask, get started in asking you guys some questions.
All right, Jakayla. Well, thank you for leading us in this conversation. And I would be remiss if I didn't start by thanking Declare or Devon and Sinclair for creating this space. So I am Rachel Gregoire. My husband and I are the founders of a company called Famfoolery. And what we do is we create spaces where we're cultivating, convening, and celebrating culture. And one of the main ways we do that is with a party game that we've created called Trap Wars, the Urban Game Night Experience. If you haven't heard of us, 'tis the season, guaranteed fun for your family and friends. Trap Wars celebrates Black culture and Black history. I'll tell y'all something really funny. When Devon first invited me to sit on this panel, I'll pause. And, you know, Devon is my boy. And usually I say anything that yes to anything that him and Sinclair invite me to do. But I'll pause because, you know, I usually decline invitations to talk about Black love, because I feel like I used to feel like sitting on a panel talking about relationships is indicative, like saying you have the perfect situation or exemplary. And so full disclosure for anybody tuning in, if that's the perspective you're expecting from me, that ain't what you're gonna get. You're gonna get the real. And you know, with me and Chris, we are definitely learning as we go. And so I appreciate you all inviting me to have a seat at this table.
Great. Well, I can go ahead and add to that and say that it's not all perfect over here, and you're also going to get the real, so don't feel bad, because honestly, that's what the people need, and maybe they'll learn from some of the things we had to learn the hard way through, so kudos to you. The next person I have on my screen that I see is Mr. Marlon. So Mr. Marlon, you want to come on and introduce yourself to the people real quick?
Yes, what's up? How we doing? Look, I'm raunchy, forgive me. Ball love. Well, how we doing today? Name's Marlon Green. As Devon said, educator. I just love trying to work with students to let them know about what are their possibilities in higher education. So that's just mainly what my focus is there. I'm excited for y'all to invite me on this panel. Did I miss anything? I'm from New Orleans, the West Bank, gotta be clear, the West Bank of New Orleans. And I actually just made a pot of gumbo. So when this is over, I'm gonna eat.
Dope. All right, well, thanks, Mr. Marlon, for being here. The next person I see is Miss Alexis.
Hi guys, I'm Alexis. I am 1/3 of Spill It Card Game. I'm super excited to be here today. I'm representing Spill It Card Game. We create questions to provide an intimate, thoughtful conversation over drinks, a couple or 2 or 3, however many you want. But also forge connections with people. So we talk and sit down with people all the time in relationships, out of relationships, married, divorced, So we can bring a lot of perspective to this, and super excited to be here to talk to you guys today.
Thanks, Alexis. Nice to have you as well. And then lastly, Ms. Boykins, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Peace and greetings, everybody. I am Shanga, or Shamanika, born Shamanika, the medicine woman. I'm a therapeutic alchemist. My background is in mental health, did therapy for a number of years, and then decided that I would take this journey. And here on the other side of that, it looks like therapeutic alchemy. So teaching people how to utilize the things that they've experienced to make them their greatest them, by walking them through a 12-week program. I also do mind body medicine. I do a few things, but those are the main ones for sure. I love what y'all said starting out. I'm gonna give y'all the real, no chasers. Sorry, I don't have no. It's just truth. And a fun fact for me is actually, I'm recently divorced and I was a second wife. So let's get this panel popping.
Let's get it popping then. Okay. Well, thank you guys so much for introducing yourselves. Let me just introduce myself real quick again. I'm Jakayla Leathers. I'm married to a beautiful man for going on 8 years now, 7 years, something around there. But we are entrepreneurs. We've been entrepreneurs. I dropped out of college to become an entrepreneur. He never went to college, so this is literally all we do, and we've done it together from the very start. So I'm sure all of us have we got some interesting stories to share with y'all today. It's just beautiful to be here. Thank you guys again for just inviting me, inviting all of us. Really, I think this is really important, like what we're doing, because it can get lonely. It can definitely get lonely, and just knowing that other people are on the same journey, other people are struggling or going through struggles or have come through struggles. It really makes a difference having that support and just knowing that there are people out there who exist, who's doing the same things as you. So I love it. I love it here already. And I'm ready to get these questions started. What about y'all? Let's do it then. All right. So the first question I have for Miss Rachel already said she's going to keep it real with us. So I'm going to ask Miss Rachel this first, and then we can just go down the line and y'all can feel free to just chime in, talk freely with me, and let me know how you guys feel, answering the questions and all that stuff too. But Miss Rachel, so question number 1, does love come with sacrifice?
Does love come with sacrifice? I mean, what relationship don't? But I'm a backtrack because I like that you gave everybody listening context in terms of the perspective you're coming from. So this is how real I'll keep it with you all. Me and Chris have been dating since 2010 and been married since 2014. So I think we almost in the same boat in terms of how long we've been in this real close. And I said this how real I'll keep it with you all. I think we went on our first date in 2008, and then we broke up twice before we were ready for each other that third time around. So third time is a charm, means something different for us. And in answering that question of does love require sacrifice, I say what relationship don't, because, I think about conversations with my grandma, and I don't necessarily want to hear about a bowel movement my granddad had for an hour on the phone with her, but, I sacrifice my time because that it's important to me to spend time with her while I can. And so I think it's all about your perspective on how you look at that. I think, culture tells us to create this list, like my spouse gotta be all of this and all of that. But sometimes the question is what are you bringing to the table? How are you, bettering your spouse in some way, shape, or form? And so, I guess I'll just end with saying that when I say it's a matter of perspective, some people may look at it like I got to sacrifice all this stuff to be with somebody, but really I think it's an investment, because it's a cliche that says happy wife, happy life. Y'all all heard that, right? But I think it's happy spouse, happy life, because we be sacrificing stuff too. Okay. And, and I think, if your spouse is happy, your house is going to be more peaceful. And, no matter what your religious position is, we all in some capacity believe you reap what you sow, or scientists believe in, the law of reciprocity. And so I think, in the best cases, when you put your all or make sacrifices in your marriage, your spouse gonna feel moved to do the same thing for you.
Of course, of course. I definitely agree with you on that for sure. Anybody else want to add to that? Does love come with sacrifice? Have you made any sacrifices in your relationship, you know, that are something that may be like sticking out to you that you can literally pinpoint to this day because it was.
I could jump in real quick. I think my answer that I had to it was the sacrifice that you make is the sacrifice of moving without regard. You know, we kind of see sacrifice in more of like a negative light. I know I do sometimes, and I got to coach myself out of that. But it's just more so like moving with regard in that person that you love, whether that person you love is a grandparent, or if it's your wife, or if it's your husband, your partner. You're moving with them in mind. It doesn't mean that every time I'm asking my wife permission, hey, can I go use the bathroom? You know, but I might say, look, I got to use the bathroom and I gotta, you know, I don't want to be disgusting. I might have to do something that takes me longer in the restroom, and she might need to do something that takes her quicker. So just that thought of like, can I think about my wife that much to make sure that I'm making sure that she's comfortable and she has the convenience she needs, and she's doing the same thing back from me. I know that was a disgusting example, but we tried to get real, right? That's a real example, the one that I face almost every day. So
that's healthy, right?
That's a real example. No, but I like that because I think that's important. Like you do have to, when you think about sacrifice, it is a matter of, well, do I think about them enough? Do I love them enough to consider how they would feel before I do something? That's really important because a lot of people, they don't, you know what I mean? They don't think about someone else that much enough to even consider how they'll feel about it. And not only I feel like is that important in a relationship, but I think that's also important in business too, and when you commingle the two. So I love that answer for sure. Anybody else want to go ahead and chime in on that? Ms. Boykins, Ms. Alexis?
I agree. I think you guys kind of said, I think anything that you want is the sacrifice. So like you didn't start your business without sacrificing. You're not getting degrees without sacrificing. I don't think that we think that same way in relationships, but I'm glad you brought it up because we need to extend that same grace to relationships. Like you have to sacrifice time, emotions, vulnerability to make something work and be successful at it, just like you would your business or your degree or whatever, your job. So I think love is like the ultimate sacrifice to me. It's a mirror right in front of you. So if people knew that, I think it would be a lot further in like healthy relationships and successful marriages too. So I agree.
Okay. I saw your mouth move right as my box turned green. I would say that I agree with what everybody said, but except for the fact that for me, and boundaries and things that you stand on. And so when you choose your partner, it would be progressive of you to choose a partner who have those same things, those same boundaries or foundational pieces, because after that, for me at least, there's no sacrifice. Every move that's being made because we are both on the same journey and we've agreed to kind of smash ours together, we're just working on the ebb and flow of what that looks like. So I wouldn't consider it a sacrifice. I would consider it more of a progressive move than anything else. I think somebody already said it, like when you start saying sacrifice, typically a person will think of something in a negative form. So I tend to kind of move away from a lot of the regular words because they just have negative connotation. You'll spend more time trying to get somebody to change their mind than to just, give them something else. So for me, it's a progressive move, and it's not a sacrifice, because at the end of the day, if you put life into a game, once we decided to smash our games together, we jumping and grabbing coins. That's it.
I like that. I definitely like that. I might have to start saying, honey, you want to make this progressive move with me?
No, for real.
Because it changes the whole scenario now. Like you don't even look at it. I really do love that. You don't even look at it as negative now. Just like Marlon said, it changes the entire game. So that is to tackle anything, I feel like now, like,
Yes.
Yeah, let's make this progressive move, okay? Nice. So, all right, y'all, the next question I have for you guys is, all right, growing up, what was your perception of love? This is a deep question, y'all. What was your perception of love? And has it changed? Now, I really want y'all to like go back to the child in you, your childhood growing up, and really think about this, because this is actually something that, you know, I have a twin sister, and we literally have had this conversation within the past like month or so, now that we're older. And it literally stems from, you know, things that we experienced in our perception of love when we were smaller. But I want to hear y'all's first, and then I'll share mine. But this is a good one. I really want y'all to be real with the people like y'all been being real early.
Oh, can I go first?
Go ahead, feel free.
All right. So I actually don't have to think too much about this because I actually just journeyed back to that in April. And to be honest with you, my perception of love now, it went back to what it was when I was a kid. Because what I realized was before I started meeting people and having experiences that made love painful, it was beautiful. I walked into it without holding anything back, and I walked into it doing the things that I would do when love was present. But every time I had an experience where it didn't go well, I pulled a piece of me and was like, you know what? So the next boyfriend I get, I'm not gonna fix him dinner every Friday. You know what I'm saying? Or he ain't getting no sexy lingerie dances. I'm gonna save that. But when I looked back at it, I said, how am I, in order for you to say you love somebody, you have to be whole in the love that you're giving. And if my authentic love and what it looked like before it was tainted by experience is not what I'm giving today, then I'm missing something. So for me, it didn't look like that. If you would have asked me this last year, I would say my perception is completely different from when I was a kid or when I was younger. But today, I've been able to go back and gather up those pieces of me that are love, and I'm sitting here in the fullness of it, and that's way better than anything else that I've experienced from the first time I had an introduction to what love looked and felt like. Uh-oh, I didn't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I said that was beautiful, and I felt that.
Yeah.
Anyone else want to add to that?
Well, listen, my love's still tainted. You know, I think when I was sitting here thinking of like, man, like what did I used to think about what love is as a kid? I think if did anybody else here used to watch the show The Game? And I'm talking about the real game when CW had it back before BET took it over and messed it all up. So if you remember, there's this episode where like Duran is trying to get Melanie to forgive him. And so he arranges for like a marching band to meet her. He knows her running path when she goes on her morning runs. And so he arranges for like a marching band, and it's like following her, and he's following the band screaming out, you know, I don't know if he asked her to marry him or whether he said, I'm sorry, something, but that's like what I used to feel like love was. It was like all of that cliche and corny stuff. And now, you know, I was playing around with Mika. I don't necessarily think that my perspective is tainted, you know, so to speak. I just think that I don't know. I blame Disney. I blame the writers of that show. I blame Eric Jerome, Dickey, all these love novels. I feel like the message, we don't realize how much we are socialized to believe what we believe. And so I just think that, you know, my original opinion of love wasn't really coming even from inside of me. It was coming from what I was seeing in the movies, or even what I was seeing. You know, there was a time where I didn't want nothing to do with love because I felt like I didn't appreciate none of the examples of it that I saw. And so, you know, I think, you know, I don't know. Now I think if I go back to another TV analogy, I'm just thankful for writers like Ava DuVernay. For anybody who watches Queen Sugar, I feel like she shows that love is just like life, that you have some really, really good days in life, and then you have some really difficult and challenging days in life, but they are all contributing to making you, you the person that you're supposed to be. And I think marriage and love is the same day. You have some amazing days where you like, man, I love this man or a woman, and I can't ever imagine life without them. And then you have other days where you like, I'm gonna kill him in his sleep. So I think that's my progression of my thoughts about love.
Fair enough. Anybody else want to chime in?
I'll just say real quick, movies had me messed up. I agree with you, Ms. Boykins. I see you, Rachel, as well. Listen, the movies will mess you up because my thought on love was the movies. That hour and a half, 90 minutes of just back to back to back, dramatic, sentimental, just emotional rush. I was in high school. I remember, I tell you no lie, I'm gonna try to make this quick because I talked long last time. Everything I had to do had sentiment. I went to the dollar store and got my high school girlfriend a glass rose. And I was like, this glass rose symbolizes the flower and fruit of our life. And in the glass, may it not break, because that will show the fragility in our relationship. Sir, it's from the dollar store. If you putting your love on that dollar store rose, my buddy, it ain't gonna last. And it did not. The rose broke and we broke up. You know what I'm saying? So, I was just so into that. And that's not bad. It's cool, that fairy tale, that good. But what you also got to capture is that day to day, the stuff that they don't show you in the movies because it don't fit. It don't look good in the 90 minutes. It don't look as appealing. But that day to day, what are you doing day to day? I just fixed her a cup of water just because, got her favorite wine just because. Bought her some real roses. Not because they mean anything, but just because I was the first person to buy flowers, right? Whatever that day-to-day that you can be doing, that has to be mixed in, and you can still be dramatic. Keep that balance, though, because, sometimes when you're a little too dramatic, you're unstable. We might need to check in, somewhere, get you some herbs to calm you down,
Yeah, the movies definitely do be messing the people up. But I mean, it's beautiful though, because I think it is relevant, and it gives you an expectation. It gives you, a reason to have high expectations, because some people may not have that, but I think they do skew your perception of what love really looks like on a deeper level. Alexis, did you want to share?
Yeah, I will. I'll just chime in on this point too. If they made movies about what love really looked like, who would watch that? Nobody really wants to sign up for that. Like, it's more bad days than good. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. I understand why they do be so dramatic the way they do. I think I agree. The way I saw love was like very like physical and affectionate. Like, oh, like my mom and dad were together all of my life. So, my husband like lays down with me every day and cuddles with me on the couch and watch, like he loves me. Like that's what I just knew. That's what I just thought. So, but as I grow and as I grow my spiritual journey too, I feel like the way I like to receive love and the way I like to see love now is if somebody gives me the space to be me. And if I give somebody the space to just be them, and I love to watch them grow and just flourish. Like that's, to me, like that's love now. Like just watching somebody be who they are, and you are just totally okay with, everybody has flaws, of course, but you're really okay with like who this person is becoming, what their foundation is. That's beautiful. That's love. Before it, that's worth more than just just sit down and watch a movie with me or cuddle with me. Like, no, just let me be myself, and you love me in all parts of me, and like help me grow as I help you grow. And that's how I see it now. But back then I was with the movies. I still am, but so I don't know.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that too. Like, I feel that place that you're referring to comes from a sense of security within yourself too. Like, you really have to be secure within yourself to be able to be secure with someone else being their 100% genuine self. I can share, my story is kind of a little similar to some of y'all's, but I'll go a little deeper and say that my perception of love was completely skewed. And I honestly didn't even realize it until I got older. So I grew up in a household where it was literally like, my mom and dad never got married, and they had us at 16. I'm a twin. And we were just, born into with parents who just weren't prepared for what they got into. So, you know, my grandparents raised us and they've been together for forever. So I always got that opportunity to witness true love and real love and what love is supposed to look like. And I thank God for them. But outside of that, you know how they always say, you know, you and some today are just like, no, I don't. Well, I'm definitely one to tell you, like, yes, you do. You may not think you do, but you really do, because without one, you don't really get to experience what it is to be loved by a man, because you didn't get that from your father. So in hindsight, I can look back and see where all of my past relationships went wrong simply from not having, you know, my father as active in my life that, you know, another child would have had, if they did have an active father, you know, that was more active or whatever. Not saying my dad wasn't active, because he was active, but I didn't grow up with him in the household, and that makes a difference. So just from that perspective, I can truly say that, like, the way I used to see love and view love came from, you know, just a lack of, like, I literally can see how insecure I was, which if you talk to me in high school, middle school, like, I would have never said I'm insecure. Like, no, girl, like, I love myself. Like, no, I didn't. You know what I mean? Like, and this is on like a subconscious level. I didn't love myself, because if someone who loves themselves, they don't go looking for love outside of themselves. You know what I mean? Like, they attract love. And, you know, I did attract people, but I was still searching for something that I was missing in other people, that I was missing from my dad. So that turned into, you know, trying to control relationships, trying to like make the outcomes be the way I wanted to, trying to make the person be the way I wanted to. So I can definitely say that, you know, my perspective of love has definitely changed. I'm now very secure with myself, and I can be very secure with my husband, you know, allow him to freely just go out and live his dreams and follow his dreams, chase his dreams, be who he is, like Alexis was saying, simply because I've allowed myself to do the same thing, you know? So it's very interesting to see, you know, how it is we used to view love versus how we view love now, because I think it's definitely an experience that you have to look back on to see. And it's crazy that you can't really see it while you're in it. But once you do see it, I think that growth does happen, and it makes you just a better person. So thank y'all for sharing that. Let's go on to the next question. So the next question is a little bit about business. So do you guys think that love and business can commingle and mix together? And if you do, like, give us some examples. If you don't, give us some examples, like, let us know why you think the way that you think. Whoever wants to go first, feel free.
I'll jump in first real quick, because I think especially for men, it's something that we got to check, you know, when we are in relationships with women, is that a lot of times we consider ourselves, we take that head of household, or we, you know, whatever claim that you take that makes you supposedly the more superior one, whatever you do in, you know, in your relationships. And I do think that love and business can still mix, but a lot of times for men, from that aspect, we got to do a lot of ego checking, right? You know, and for me, I got to recognize that if me and my wife, we build something, she wants to do an old folks home and wants to build that out and give them all the resources. And she's like, Marlon, I love your energy. I want you to be the activities director. You know, we come on and we work this thing out, and I got to recognize she knows what she's doing. I haven't worked in these facilities. She's worked in these facilities. I don't have that master's degree. She has that master's degree. And as much as I want to be the protector, as much as I want to be the one leading in thought in everything, I have to have that trust in her and stay in my lane, so that way she can lead in those areas. And so I do think if y'all understand where you all, both parties lead, you can certainly mix, but I also understand the struggles and the challenges, and it is certainly, in my experience, not been the easiest, but it's certainly something that is something that can work out.
How long would you say it's taken you to realize that?
Man, look, I'm coming out the South. So it was a whole lot of man at our house, don't let her punk you around, lead the way. Like, I remember my dad told me, he was like, you going to the movies? He was like, what movie y'all going to see? I said, well, I'm gonna let her pick. Don't be no punk, pick the movie. And I'm like, you know, and that's what I grew up in. So it took a lot. Like, it's in my adult life, and I'm still like learning that now and processing that now. So, and I'm 29, I've been married for 3 years. We've been together for 7. So, you know, no matter how old you get, as long as you learn it, that person that you're in love, that you're in partnership with, that you're in cohesion with, they're going to appreciate that. So don't think, oh, I'm stuck in my ways. Like, you can bounce out of that. You know, if you didn't learn it then, okay, you sucked back then, you can be better now. So just take that and grow.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. That's definitely something that we struggled with it in the beginning too, because I don't know, maybe it is a man thing. Maybe it's that ego from a man. I don't know, but literally, like, I remember my husband, like, he's very physical, like we're in a service-based business and it requires actual labor. So he's good with all of that. He's literally been doing it his whole life. He's good. Me, on the other hand, like, I'm good with the management, the people skills, you know, invoices, accounting, stuff like that. You know, that's my area. But it took us a minute for both of us to realize that you're good over here, I'm good over here. Let's both do the things that we're good at instead of me trying to make, you know what I mean? Like me trying to make you do this or you trying to make sure that I'm not doing this. Like, it just doesn't work that way. And I think it is, you know, something that you definitely have to work through for sure, because, you know, especially when you have two people who think that they can just do everything, which we all know that's not the case. So that's definitely something important that you have to come to just a realization of. Anybody else want to share that?
Well, I think I'll just kind of yes and to what you and Marlon said, because kind of the theme of what I heard from what both of you said is self-awareness. So I feel, you know, I'm hesitant to give a solid yes, no to the question of does Black love in business mix. I mean, I think it depends. It's a big maybe depending on the two individuals that's, you know, involved. You know, because it works for me and Chris, I would never, when people come to me and ask that question, I say, you know, running a business is a lot more than just business. Business is that, I mean, business alone is a broad term. And so I think you got to know the leadership skills that are going to be required for your business to be success. And you know, if y'all both suck with money, then no, you cannot. It's not gonna mix. Or if you both are, you know, free spirits and you know you don't really believe in time and schedules, then no, you should or you should just partner up. You know you're gonna have to add some folks to the team immediately. And so I think the most important thing is, if you're going to be a Black couple in business, is to have a plan. And I will just speak from my own experience because that's all I know. The thing that I think has made it the most beautiful for me and Chris is that being in business together allows me to see him in a light that I otherwise never ever would. You know, I don't know about you all, but I feel like if you ask my family what I do for a living, they probably can say, you know, I create a game or whatever, you know, or I'm an educator or I do panels and things like that. But they don't really know like the day in and day out of what it means to do what I do. And that's definitely how I was with Chris. I find, you know, I know he's an engineer. I finally know what type of engineer he is. He's a CAD engineer. But then when you start asking me questions like, oh, he do this, he do that, I used to could not explain that to you. But because we have taken on these business ventures, it has made me really appreciate the skills that he has as an engineer, you know, because engineering skills around the house, they not fun. You know, engineers are perfectionists and they and they have that eye for detail, and you know that's not as fun to deal with when you're talking about chores and things around the house. But when it comes to seeing the value that he brings to the team that is our business, I love that. And so I know I wouldn't have been able to experience that if we didn't launch Fanfoolery.
I think Sinclair and you guys wanted to share too.
Yeah, so so we said honest. So I think business and love mixes beautifully when you think about the time that you're able to spend with your loved one, when you think about just the economic partnership that is marriage and also that is business. I feel like it is has the potential to be the perfect blend. However, I'm a workaholic. I understand that I'm a workaholic. Yes, Queen.
Do you? No, I'm kidding.
Yes, I understand. And I think as a self-proclaimed and spouse-proclaimed workaholic, it can be difficult for me to find that line on when the business ends and when the love starts versus when the love starts and when the business ends. Right? Like when we go on certain vacations, I'm still wanting to work a little bit. Whereas, you know, the queen might be like, you know what, let's just chill on the beach for a little bit. I'm like, chill on vacation. Come on, now let's work a little bit. So I think that's the only thing hard part that you need to set up. And we've gotten better 2021, 2020 on like, okay, if you're going to work on vacation, you can work up until 10 a.m. After 10 a.m., you can't do any type of work. So it's like, okay, I'll make the sacrifice. I'll wake up at 7, get some work done, and the rest of the day is all vacation. So I think that's been the difficult part for me is turning off that business switch to be 100% present in the love and the marriage.
I think the thing that I wanted to add is I think that love and business also mix really well when you have different strengths to bring to the partnership. I think if you are the same person, you probably are going to have a little bit harder of a time running the business because you have gaps, right? Naturally, in your partnership, in your business, you're going to have gap if you're both the same type of personality, which I feel like typically, and this is just, again, in my experience, I typically do see that not opposites attract, but different personalities tend to attract to each other. So I feel like, and a lot of times that does happen naturally. But I think it's also important when you step into the realm of, oh, we are now in a business venture, taking that next step. So like we did like the love language assessment to determine that. But we even took it a step further on going like doing like the different social styles and like DISC assessment type things to see like, how do you operate in that business setting, in that outside of the relationship? How do you operate? How do you operate when you are, at work? So I think having that, knowing like each other on that level, I think is also important. And I think it does allow you to get to know each other on a different level than you would have, to Rachel's point, if you didn't run that business. So learning how you operate in stressful situations is important. Because I know I'm going to be the one that freaks out and he's going to be the one to keep me calm. Like we know that about each other. So it's easy now he knows that like I need to have him around, right, in those situations. So I think just, learning those different personality and social styles, I think is also a really good tool when you're talking about love and business.
Cool. I definitely need that assessment from y'all so we can learn more about ours. But no, that's definitely important. I can definitely feel you on the workaholic part. Not so much just from me, but me and my husband are both workaholics. And see, y'all don't have kids, so that's y'all are blessed. No, I'm just joking, because we're blessed too. But see, we have 3 kids, so the fact that we are both workaholics, it's definitely a balance that we had to literally figure out. And it's still something that's hard, but we literally have to come together like the beginning of the week and plan out everything that we're gonna do with the kids, because we know if we don't, the kids ain't gonna be doing nothing, just because we're that, laser focused on what it is we're trying to build for the kids. So, just having that understanding from each other and being able to recognize how each other operates in the relationship, outside of the relationships, in those social settings, when it comes to business and stuff like that, is super important. So thanks for sharing that, y'all. Anybody else want to touch on that before we go to the next question?
I have a quick, like, kind of follow-up question to that too, to all of you guys that shared your stories. So do you feel like business and love can work if you have additional help to do so? Like, Jakayla, you have 3 kids. So if you didn't have somebody helping you with the kids, do you feel like it would still work with you guys, or do you feel like you need support, or it doesn't really matter?
I think it's different I personally think it's different for everyone's situation. So we actually moved back home, and we didn't want to my home. I didn't want to move back home. He did. But it actually worked out because all of my family is here. So when we do need help, they're here to help if we need it. Now, I'm not the person that's going to ask for help unless I absolutely need it. But again, it's nice to have that support, that free support when you need it, because there's times when we'll have to go be on call, and we'll have to go, we work for military bases, we contract for military bases. And there's times where literally like, he'll get a call in the middle of the night for a flood or something that he has to go to the job. Now, if I have to do something that next day, then I'm calling my grandma or my sister, hey, can you watch my kids? So I definitely think that, having that support available makes it easier. But even when we didn't have the support, honestly, I think it just comes down to, like, do you want this bad enough? Are you going to make this work no matter what? Because there's been times, like, for instance, I was a by trade. When I dropped out of college, we didn't have family where I went to college at. That's where we were living, but we had our first daughter. We didn't know how we was gonna, pay for childcare. We didn't know who we was gonna send her to for childcare. So we literally was just stepping out on faith because we knew that's what we wanted to do. We knew where we was trying to go with our future, where we was trying to push our future to, and we knew we had to make these sacrifices. Well, I'm sorry, these progressive moves in order to get there. So even though we didn't know how in the heck we was gonna do it, we knew we had to do it. So support or no support, I really think it just comes down to how much you want it to happen, how much you need it to happen. So yeah, that's just my personal opinion. We got y'all. Anybody else want to piggyback on that?
Alexis, I'll just weigh in with a more practical answer. I think Jakayla made a good point. The grind does matter, but I couldn't help but think about this article that I just read that said that 95% of Black-owned businesses are sole proprietorships, which basically means we trying to do everything for the business by ourselves. And the problem with that is that if something happens, you get sick or whatever the case, you have to take a break, the business and the money stops. And so my answer to that question, and this is a moment where I'm like, talking to my peers and not talking at you, because this is something that I'm learning and I'm seeing it as I go, that you have to have help, even if you are already in a partnership in business. Even and I know all of our budgets look different, and a lot of times that's a concern, but I mean, even if it's just like partnering up with universities, utilizing students who got to have internships and things like that to get credit for class. And so finding people who is mutually beneficial relationships to get experience with you, because if you can free up some of your time where you don't have to do some of these more administrative things, then you have time and energy to think about the strategy of your business, of growing your business and your time. And from the time that we have started to at least budget just to have support from at least 1 or 2 interns, I'm like, oh, like I actually have time to, to plan out my week so that I'm not planning the 5 minutes before I get on the call and it not going as good as I know that it could. And so rather that looks like the support of family with childcare or, or hiring help internally with your business, I think my opinion would be a resounding yes, depending on the how large you want your business to grow.
For sure. Now, I was speaking more so on like the family part of it, but I love that you're talking about the actual business side of it as far as like support within your business, because that is so important. It is so true that a lot of us do. We start these businesses as sole proprietorships, which first of all, no sole proprietorships, guys, no sole proprietorships, just because it doesn't offer you any benefit as a sole proprietorship. You don't have any you have all the liability, which is on you. It's just not a good situation for most people. But the fact that you touched on seeking outside help, not necessarily just family, like I was talking about, is very important, because I think as a Black community, a lot of us, we have this perception of being in business, but we don't have the mindset of an actual business owner, which is, okay, I'm going to start this business. And after I get this business, the foundation created, I'm going to work my way out of this business so that the business can run without me. We kind of just stop at let's start a business part. And then we get stuck in the business. And now it's really just like having another job that we can't walk away from. And then, if God forbid something happened to us, like you said, that's your whole source of income. That's your livelihood. That's your kids. Like nothing can run without you. So I think it's very important. And I actually talked to my clients and everything about this because it's important for you to plan yourself out of the business. Just, and for example, I always use this example with my clients because it's literally something that hits home for me. My dad is a first generation business owner and he's done very good for himself. But he has not planned a way out of his business. So to this day, he's been in business probably for like 12 years, but he's still doing everything for the business. Just recently he went in the hospital because he's literally driving himself in the dirt. And he couldn't see it until it took him to the hospital. But now I think he's seeing it. But it just goes to show you that it's very important for you to seek outside help, whether it's from, students from local colleges or something who has that mutual beneficial goal with you, or whether it means you have to create a system and hire some virtual assistants to take over certain tasks within your business. That support in itself is what's going to help you get to the next level. I think a lot of people want to expand their business, they want to scale, but they don't realize that scaling and expanding is going to take additional people. It's going to take you budgeting the income that you're making now and outsourcing it to get more help so that you can grow and you can expand. So yeah, speaking on that, like that's definitely something that, people need to hear, people need to actually like consider, just with being in business for sure. Did you guys want to speak more about that? Share anything else as far as business and anybody, or we can move to the next question. We'll just go ahead and move on along then. So the next question is, what is self-love and how do you practice it? I see Ms. Boykins smiling down there. Come on, Ms. Boykins, give us some info on self-love.
Self-love. You said, what is self-love? Say, what's your question again?
What is self-love and how do you practice it?
What is self-love and how do I practice it? For me, self-love is moments of self-reflection. Because in those moments of self-reflection is when I get to understand why I do something, why I react to something, what was the foundation behind the reaction or the decision or comments that I made. But also for me, because I was one of those people when I first started my business, who was just doing everything, it's, for me, self-love is recognizing when you need to take a break. And that's with work, family, your spouse, the outside world, talking. I am notorious for take a moment of silence, and it'll be a couple of days where I'm like taking days of silence and was a therapist. So it's like, let me schedule it on the days when I have no clients and I can just pass notes to my coworkers and my supervisor. And they rock with it too. I'm grateful for that. But it's just recognizing what you need in order to progress forward with whatever it is that you're working on. Hold on. Woo, excuse me. And so for me, it's the resting, but also for me, self-care is nature. Whenever I can get out away from the city where it's just, good breeze and a good peaceful moment, because I always have I'm a visionary. I have 1,000,001 things running across my mind at any given time. So whenever I can carve out some time to not have to think about the next thing to do for my business, or, you know what I'm saying, and just enjoy some nature, that's good self-care for me, for sure.
I love it. I love it. I love it. We live by the coast, and I feel you on the nature part, because I couldn't imagine living anywhere else, just because my mind thinks the way yours does, and it's constantly going. So just
yes,
a place where you automatically get to shut it off. It's just so peaceful, and it's important, because if it never shuts off, eventually it's gonna drive you insane.
Yes, it is, and whatever's created in your mind manifests into your body. So let me keep this mind clear.
Right. What's some other self-love ways that you guys show yourself self-love?
I'll just jump in. I've been hiking every day just for that reason. I'm out in Glendale, so I've been all on the trails. I didn't walk a good 40, 50 miles in this last week easily. I just be walking. But I just want to say quickly, being present. You owe it to yourself to live your life, and to live your life is to be present, to be now, and to stay in that. And there's a lot to, man, I missed that quote. Somebody said, think about the past is something bad, and to think about the future. Oh, thinking about the past is depression. Thinking about the future is anxiety. So be present and think about now. That's what I saw. So, you know, now granted, the past, sometimes there's some good about the past that you need to keep with you, but you don't want to stay stuck in those areas, the past or the future. You want to be right here in the present and taking walks, being out in nature, drinking some Sunny D, getting you some sunlight, something with some vitamin D in it, should get you to a point where you can at least just balance yourself out, along with other vitamins as well. But y'all can listen to the Black Health Talk that Divine Declare will provide you after this call.
I was gonna say, not the Sunny D.
There's some kind of vitamin D, okay? Just get you some kind. Sunny D or not. Any other ways you guys show yourself self-love and make sure that you know?
Well, I didn't see Sunny D as a sponsor, so we ain't showing them love tonight. You know what? I when I think about the question of self-love, I'm thinking about Mika's answer earlier in this panel, where she was just talking about how she realized the importance of just having a foundation and being clear on, you know, who you are and what's important to you. And I think Jakayla touched on it too earlier when she talked about the security that she knows that that her maturity has brought her. So, you know, if I had to, like, by definition, think about what self-love means to me, it's the opposite of that cliche that says, you know, I'm trying to find a man who completes me. Like, I think real self-love means I'm complete by my own damn self. You complete by yourself. And when we come together, we are complementing each other. And so what that looks like for me, and this is something that, you know, that 08 me that I mentioned, that where we were breaking up and all of that, I think the thing I hadn't figured out is, you know, self-love means not minimizing who I am because I think you don't approve or agree with it. It's being unapologetically yet respectfully me when we disagree. And then, of course, it's all of the other things that, you know, all the things that we mentioned that make us feel good, the spa days, whether that be at home or at the shop, the, you know, watching a TV show I know I can enjoy by myself that your comments are going to annoy me on. But I guess what I'm saying, you know, in a more summed up way, it's just like not losing yourself in your relationship, because like Sinclair was saying earlier, we part of the reason that some of our partnerships work is because we're not the same, but we complementing each other.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I couldn't hear Jakayla though. You were talking.
That's what I was gonna say, Jakayla. I can hear you.
Can y'all hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, I was just saying, did you want to chime in, Alexis, on how you know?
Oh,
show yourself some.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with all you guys are saying. To me personally, like I have to have a good morning I'm kind of like a routine free spirit. It's weird. Like I'm very like free, but I also kind of like to have a routine. Like I have to start my day with like an intention. Like I like to kind of be purposeful with my days. I like to wake up, open my blinds, light my candles, like put on my music, you know, get in my right spirit, in my right mind. I like to give good energy. So I just make sure I'm whole. I love going on hikes and walks because I love nature, and it just reminds me like how small we are, like, you know, how small we really are and how small our problems are. So if the trees can just grow and everything just be fine, like the little stuff that we worry about, it ain't really that serious. So I love being out in nature. It definitely brings me whole. And then to someone's point, I forgot who said it, but I love kind of figuring out like what I need to do better as well, kind of that self-reflection. Like, I kind of like seeing me grow. Like, okay, let me reflect on this. Like, what could I have done better here? Like, just thinking about those things in a productive way, like that brings me a sense of joy too. Just not knowing that, okay, I'm a little bit better today than I was yesterday. And I'm happy about that. Like, and I'm a better me. I could be a better daughter, a better girlfriend, a better friend, a better sister, you know? So, I mean, I like getting to know me. That's a journey within itself. And then I start my day in that good spirit, and I try to give that to everybody else too, to be the best them that they can be. So that is, you know.
I feel you. That's important. I don't know where I read it at, probably in multiple places, but just how you start your day is literally how the rest of
Absolutely. And I could
what happened. Like somebody was saying something. Can y'all hear me? Yeah? Okay. I don't know. It sounded like somebody wanted to say something. I didn't want to keep talking.
I did want to tap in to say one other thing. One really big thing for me that's been great where self-love is concerned is boundaries. Learning what my boundaries are. Like I realize that because I'm such a loving, for example, I'm such a loving, giving person, I might say I'm going to show up for you and I'm going to stay here and I'm going to help you for however long you need. I haven't set a boundary for that. I'm just so free spirited and I'm loving and I'm giving. But what happens when you start to get on my nerves and piss me off? Am I going to sit here and let you start to take away my peace and stay solid and loyal to the word that I said, which is I'm gonna stay here until you don't need me anymore? Or am I going to say, you know what, it's time for us to part ways. You're costing me my peace of mind, and then exit stage left. But I'll never know when it's time to exit stage left if I haven't set boundaries for myself. So for me on a personal level, one boundary for me is if you cost me my peace of mind, then you out of here. And you might get a chance depending on what it is. But like I said, with everything that's going on in my mind and where I'm going and flowing in life, I don't have the time to allow somebody the space, you know, to tamper with that time. And if your presence, your situation, or just who you are is impeding upon that brain that I already have that naturally has a million and one things going on, you costing me too much. And that's the line for me. So having those boundaries, it goes to the foundational piece. Having those boundaries for yourself is definitely self-care, for sure. Self-care, self-love, learn to say no, and it's okay.
Right, snaps to that one. And I think I already know what the answer to this question is, but does family count for those boundaries as well? Okay.
They the main ones. They the main reason why you be having so many issues in the first place. So I gotta set boundaries with y'all because you created this monster. Like you created a lot of insecurities. Like no, that's a part of growing up. And if they just can't get it, they just can't get it. Like
and the reality is a lot of people, especially once they get to know who you are, and other people a lot of times can see what you bring to the world before you actually are able to recognize it because they're looking at you from the outside. So some people, they gonna always come to you because they know it's gonna be a yes, which means they've never tried to figure it out on their own. They just know they can come to you and get it. And you know what, boo, sorry, I ain't got it. Mama, sister, auntie, sorry, granny, I love you. Pray for me if you think that this is wrong, but I need some time. I'm no good for anybody else or for my mission at hand if I'm not on the right track. And my baby could be costing me the right track. You might have to just sit down for a second, take a time out, okay? I got to do this Zoom call.
No, we understand now. We understand.
That's a part of love too, though, to me. Like that's a part of discipline. And I think love is a discipline as well. Like just it's a consistency. So you gotta have discipline to do that. So like setting boundaries with the people, your family too, like it's because I love you. I cannot let you take this from me. Like I cannot let you drain my cup because I love you and I want to continue loving you the way that I can. So I can't let you do that to me. And I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. People feel bad, but I don't know why. Like I never understood it because I don't know, but yeah, that's a part of love.
For sure, for sure. I think maybe they don't understand it. I can speak for myself because I don't know, they might just be so used to being that giving person. Maybe from, not understanding that when you give, you're actually losing yourself. You're losing more of yourself than what you're actually giving. I don't know, but I can definitely relate because I know I used to be that person. But that's why I wanted to ask, is family included? Because often I have to let family know before I have to let anybody else know. It's like everybody else knows the boundaries and everybody else knows what line not to cross and when to not ask too many questions. But then your family comes into play and they just want to, okay, give me. Like, you see I'm drained. You see all the stuff I'm trying to do. You see where I'm trying to get us, and you're still give me. No, it can't work like that. It's not progressive at all. So I feel y'all. I feel you for sure. And then, you know what? They actually end up understanding and realizing that, okay, I can't do this with her because she loves me and she's going to tell me right from wrong so that I don't keep doing this and basically making us move backwards. So it all ties in together. And I think it's important to really, like you said, set those boundaries because, you love yourself. I love myself too much to let you just keep taking from me. So let's move along. All right. So the next question I have for y'all, do you know your love language? Do you know your love language? And if so, what is it? If not, what do you think it is? I'm very interested to hear this because I don't know. I know some of mine, but I'm interested to hear y'all's.
My love language is words of affirmation and quality time.
Marlon,
My love language as well is words of affirmation and quality time. But listen, I do be messing up because my thing of quality time is I just like my wife in the room. But a lot of times I might be on the game playing Call of Duty for 2 hours. So she ain't trying to watch me playing Call of Duty for 2 hours. So I got to work on my quality time thing.
You want her to be able to, you want to be able to just reach out, touch her.
No, what they call it.
Energy in the back.
Yeah, like with the babies, they call it home base. That's home base. I just need to know you're right there. You're right there.
Look, I'm triggered because that's what happens. That happens in my house too. So we gonna move on. I'll just share that I'm mine is words of affirmation too. And for anybody who has not read or is not familiar with the 5 love languages assessment, I just gotta say, I think even more valuable than learning what your own love language is reading about all the others, because Sinclair was talking about earlier about how not just like the love languages, but personality and business assessments help you to better understand how you and your spouse can work well together. And I'm gonna add another one in there because this is something that I facilitate as an educator, is understanding what your conflict style is, because and it's just so important overall to just understand how you are and how you operate because and your spouse, because sometimes we offended because we come to our spouse like angry with all this emotion, and then they just respond with one word, and then we receive in that situation like they don't care about me. But the truth is their conflict style, they just may be uncomfortable with conflict, or or they feel like too much emotion in a conversation don't get you anywhere. And when you don't understand just like how we operate as humans, I think we just with every company that I've ever helped resolve conflict never fail. When I talk to person A separately and the person B, they got totally different perspectives about like what's happening day to day. So somebody like Marlon is like, I was with her all day. And then when I talk to her, it's like, yeah, but he was on the Xbox. He was in his phone, he was on Facebook. So you gotta be, self-aware. And I think these tools and these exercises, a lot of times the brothers feel like they corny or they a waste of time, but the real key is using that information so that you better understand the other person so you can adjust yourself.
I like that.
Yeah, I do too. We're gonna need those resources dropped in the chat or sent to our DMs or something, because I need to know what mine is, and I need to know what his is too.
I like that. Mine is acts of service. Words of affirmation is next. And I think physical touch or gifts is like tied for like 3. But I was thinking about this the other day, and I like this assessment. I love like having my friends do it and like anybody do it. But I'm thinking like, I feel like everybody's love language is all 5. Like, do you really have one? Like if somebody gave you quality time but never touched you, you would be like, but we don't touch. Like, you don't hug me, you don't kiss me. Like, that's still a problem. But like if somebody was, kissed you and hugged you all the time, but never really affirmed you like verbally, like, oh, you look great today, or like, I love you, or I like this, you're still lacking. So do we really have a love language? I don't know. It's just thoughts, but feel free.
But the author talks about that. You absolutely right. He said it. And so I think what his assessment is saying, like, your love language means that's when you feel the most loved. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, or those are the most important to you. But you absolutely right. Even though mine is words of affirmation, like if you never do a chore around the house, or we never spend in quality time, you just walking by, oh, like, you beautiful, but then I don't see you for 2 weeks, like, we're gonna have a lot of problems. So I think the way he addressed that in the book is he says, like, your love language is the one that makes you feel like the most loved out of all the other ones.
Thank you for providing that clarity.
Man, that was
What
great.
about y'all, Sinclair? What's y'all's love languages?
Mine is words of affirmation, and I believe quality time is next. But yeah, I think to your point, Alexis, I think it's like we have all 5. I think it's just like a ranking system on like, this is the one of these 5 is what I feel the most. But that doesn't mean, like, to your point, I think all 5 are important to provide in a relationship.
Once we took the love language assessment last year, I think the love and business conflict that we were having with me being a workaholic got so much better, because I realized that she was a words of affirmation person. So anything business related or even marriage related, I knew it was like, okay, the approach needs to be from a words of affirmation approach and not a criticism approach, not a I need you to do this approach. So I think, yeah, huge. Definitely take it. It's free. Go ahead and do your thing. Mine are physical touch and acts of service. Those are my top 2. Thank you for the shoulder rub, Queen. Yeah. Appreciate that. Grown man kills.
So Rachel asked, do we think that there are gender trends to our love language preferences? So do you guys think that there's trends? Ms. Boykins is over there shaking her head like, nah, I don't.
I don't think so. No, I don't think so, because we all like them all. I think it just depends on the person. It depends on the person. It depends on how they grew up. All those factors come into play. So I don't think it has anything to do with the gender. I mean, a person might say, oh, I think men like, physical touch more, but we really the freaks. So, hey.
Oh, Mom.
She said what she said, y'all, okay?
There may not be any like gender trends among it, but there may be trends amongst like certain traumas or certain things that you've experienced in life that lead to things. Like, I know that I've on a lighter level, maybe had the trauma of not feeling like I was the coolest kid in high school. Like, I always wanted to be that person that's like accepted and everything like that. And so that ended up turning into, once people started giving me affirmation or giving me attention, because I'm a low-key attention whore, then I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel so loved. And I had to watch that, because in high school I'd be like, oh yeah, she told me I look good today. I think that's gonna be my wife. Glass rolls. So it takes them balance, but certain traumas and things could certainly probably lead to direct paths to certain love languages.
Yeah, I think that's true for sure. Definitely true, because I think that I'm more of and honestly, I haven't even taken the quiz, so I need to take the quiz first. But definitely words of affirmation, like we need to have conversations about how much you love me, how much I love you. Like, we just we need to talk about this, regularly, okay? Because I need to know. I need to hear it, okay? Yeah, I already know, but I just need to hear it. And then definitely physical touch. Like if we're in the car, hold my hand, touch my shoulder, something like I just want to know you're there. I see you're there, but let me know you're there. So definitely for sure. I'm gonna ask you guys one more question, and then I want you guys to kind of just share, the services and amazing things that you guys offer the world. So we'll go ahead and do that, and then I just want to spotlight you guys a little bit before we end the session. So the last question that I have for y'all is, dang, it's 2 left, but I have to pick between. We're gonna go with the movies. What's your favorite Black love movie?
Richard Lawson. I love Brown Sugar, y'all. I love Brown Sugar because it was too damn deep and too emotional and all sappy, and it's great, but I love how it shows that love existing in that friendship form, right? So very pure, so poetic. Like I was like, oh, one day I'm gonna have a wife that read me poems like Sanaa Layton, like the way she be talking when she narrating, and my wife don't do none of that, but I still love her so much, right? But that friendship and seeing that evolve and then getting to the place where they finally got together. I love that movie, but I love thinking about what that looks like after, what the day-to-day looks like. Now that they're together, all that poetic stuff happens not every day, but now it might happen once a week. But your day-to-day love, how does that look? So I'm always curious about that after any love movie. But yeah, Brown Sugar.
Anybody else? Favorite Black movies, Black love movies. Mine personally is Love and Basketball. Always will be. Nothing's coming above it.
Literally mine.
Over and over and over again. That's yours too?
I gotta think.
Sorry. If it's your favorite, it's your favorite. It's okay.
And
Go ahead, Rachel. What's yours?
These
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, these are all good. These are all classics. I got the wife perspective about Brown Sugar now. I'm like, no, they had their whole life to figure out they want to be together, and then they want to drag her through the mud. No, cancel Brown Sugar. No, but I actually like that movie. I'm just being silly. But mine, if you didn't see in the chat earlier, is Jason. It's underrated. I don't ever hear people say that they love Jason's lyric like I do, but I like it because I think it shows you that when you hook up with somebody, you're not just hooking up with them. You hooking up with their past traumas, with their crazy family, with everything, bad habits, all of that. And it's not saying that you gotta check somebody out and make sure that they perfect before you get with them, but you need to understand what you completely walking yourself into, because all that can turn around and shoot you in the back. No pun intended, or not trying to ruin the ending, I guess, for nobody who never saw it. But you just I think it was a good representation of a lot of times you battling against people like Marlon's dad, who giving them bad advice in the in the background in their life. So I love Jason's lyric.
Dope. And that's real life. Like, I've never seen it, but I gotta go watch it now, because people don't understand that. Like, just like you said, when they get in a relationship, it's not just you and them. It's literally everything that they've ever been through, their family. That could be a lot. So,
you're welcome. I just gave you a date night. You and hubby, go check it out. Jada Pinkett and I can't remember his name, but Lance from The Cosby Show.
We'll watch it.
Okay, well, mine was Love and Basketball, because I just like the teenage love story. I just think they're so cute. Okay, but the next my other favorite love movie of all time is, I'm corny, I love The Notebook, but that's not Black, so here, but the Notebook gets me every time. I'm like, he built the house, like every time I'm just like, oh, okay. But Black wise, okay, this is not a movie, but it's this it's a show. It's called The Underground. I don't know if y'all seen it, but I loved it. It's like a show like back in like slavery time, and they run away, but it's a slave movie, but it's a love story to me, because like he just loves her, and he just keeps trying to find her, and just will not stop until he finds her. And they haven't even like built like a whole oh, we've known each other for years, and like we fell in love. It's like they just kind of knew instantly, and off of a few conversations, a couple moments together, life is hard. Like she gets shipped away and, you know, sold away, I should say. And he just keeps going and risking his life trying to find her. And every time they find that love and the peace, then things happen. And I just think, I was like, wow, this is really Black love, so undefeated, like so just going through the mud. And yeah, so The Underground, if you haven't watched it, that's a good show.
Dope. Why is what somebody looking like that?
Because at first, as soon as you asked the question, I was like, I've never asked myself, like, what's my favorite Black love movie? And then I thought Love and Basketball, and then you said it, and I was like, dang, let me try to find another one. And I actually thought about, well, when she just said that, it made me think about Django. I was like, that was a great love story. He told up a lot of shit to get to his woman. You know what I'm saying? He even worked with a white man, you know?
That's interesting.
But to be real, the first one that came to my mind after Love and Basketball was actually Baby Boy. And let me tell you why Baby Boy. Because let me tell you, because if you grew up in the hood, you know the Baby Boy story. You know somebody who had a boyfriend and, you know, he ain't really had no job, but she got the job and she got a, you know, son and a daddy in jail. Like it's a storyline in Black culture. But what I loved about it was watching them kind of flow through the everything that was around them and still ultimately creating family structure. Like that, for me, that was the most powerful thing about it. And it showed a successful storyline in Black culture. I mean, I know he shot Snoop Dogg and all of that stuff, but that's real shit that be happening in the hood. I'm just saying, everything in that, I like the storyline because they still gave the family at the end. They didn't take Jody away. You know what I'm saying? Yvette didn't say, oh, he fucked the girl at my job, so now I'm done with him. Like they worked through it. And that's all I got. Baby Boy. It gives you, like, it's some little kids in the hood that's never seen anything else like in their real day-to-day life, except a storyline like that. So that would be their Black love storyline. So I'm just glad that at the end they still gave that positivity in there. You know what I'm saying? You got the mom, you got the dad, you got the son, and you got a whole nother baby on the way. And they've journeyed through some things. They found some foundational pieces. They've gotten some solid foundation. He didn't fix, you know, his little issues with his mama and all of that. All those things were ironed out throughout the story. His friends stayed solid. You know, they had community. I love all those pieces. Baby Boy.
Cool. Well, thank you guys, first of all, for just sharing with us your experience in Black love, business, as you know, in relationships and all of these different things, these different scenarios. I'm appreciative and grateful to have even spoken to you guys and met you guys. And I hope we all stay connected because I love your opinions and your perspective. But now I want you guys to just go through and let us know what kind of services you guys offer, things that you guys, you know, help the community out with, whatever it is that you offer. Just let the people know that, let the people know so that they can hopefully, I'm losing all of my words right now, guys. Sorry, I'm usually asleep by now. But let the people know so that they can hopefully come to you if they are in need of those type of services. So go ahead, whoever wants to get it started, feel free. Don't all jump at once.
All right. Again, me and Chris's business is called Fam Foolery, where we cultivate, convene, and celebrate culture. It's three main ways that we do that. We create games such as Trap Wars, the Urban Game Night experience. You can find it on our website. I'll drop it in the chat, famfoolery.com or amazon.com. The second leg is we will host a game night experience for you. A lot of folks tell me, I love your game, but we didn't follow your rules because my people wouldn't listen. So if you ever want to actually be able to enjoy your own party or have bring a game night experience to your company or host one with your team, reach out to us because we will provide you with a game show or game night experience. And lastly, we facilitate educational programming. And so we partner with education institutions or professional networks to facilitate lessons around diversity, equity, and inclusion, conflict styles, like I was talking about earlier. I mean, and really in a nutshell, when you think about us, we're doing the same thing that we're doing here tonight, is we're creating spaces that are really truly for us and by us so that we can celebrate one another, but also to have some of those tough and meaningful conversations that need to take place. And so always interested in partnerships and just connecting with like-minded people. And so I'm honored again to be included in this lineup with these amazing professionals. And I'm feeling a little more excited about Black love after tonight than usual. So thank you, Declare, for inviting me to have a seat at the table tonight.
Yes, thank you. It's so nice to meet you guys. Let's see, Miss Boyd. Sorry, lost you there. Miss Boykins or Green, Alexis, whoever wants to go next, y'all go ahead.
All right, thank you. So I am Shanga, the medicine woman, also known as a therapeutic alchemist. I actually offer mental health services. I just do it with a different twist. It's more about alchemizing the situations and experiences that have brought you to where you are today. So I offer a 12-week program, Medicine Quest program. And I have modules that I walk you through, but it's essentially digging up things and working them out, teaching you different tools that will help to empower you with your self-awareness, self-healing, as well as self-care. I also have a Sisters Healing Sisters group. We get together at least once a month and do something just to begin to cultivate the energy of Black women coming together and loving on each other and knowing that you're my sister instead of my competition. We have to start to work that out in a different way. And so getting women together just to hold the space, and we do hikes. I actually offer a lodge sweat as well in the Palm Springs area. And then outside of that, I work with mind-body medicine. And that's just teaching people that what is created in the mind gets manifested into the body. And so being able to utilize the mind to heal and bring wellness to the physical body using stretching and breathing techniques to do that. So that's me in a nutshell. I did drop my website in the chat, medicinewombman.com. That's WOMBMAN. And my Instagram handle is Medicine for Evolution. I'm also a case manager in the Crenshaw district. I work with our GRID program with the city of Los Angeles, which is gang reduction and youth development. So we always have things going on in and around the Crenshaw district with our football youth, as well as we do health and wellness. We do a lot of things. This summer we'll be working with the homeless in that area as well. So my hand's in a few buckets, but that's me in a nutshell. Thank you for having me. And I am overly joyed to be here and get all this Black love magic flowing. And I send blessings of wellness and abundance to every legacy that is present here and every legacy that this touches after today.
Thank you. And I love your energy. I love all of y'all's energy. Thank you guys for just sharing everything that you guys offer. It's beautiful. It's so beautiful. Mr. Green, do you want to go ahead and share next, Marlon?
Oh yeah, Marlon Green, educator. My main thing is just really trying to help students see the potential that they have and get into higher education institutions, whether it's community college, JUCO, whether it's vocational school, four-year universities, private, public, you name it, wherever you want to go, I want to help you get there. So really trying to help in doing early outreach, just really teaching you to understand what is college, how do you prepare for that? I've had my own personal experiences, didn't even recognize or realize that I was a first-gen student, just was kind of there like, oh, okay, and didn't know why I was struggling. So I use a lot of that in my motivational speaking and also in my outreach and preparing students for college. I also do college counseling. If you ever want any preparation, you got any friends, siblings, sisters, preparing, cousins, brothers, regardless, whoever, preparing for college, I'm more than willing to help them out and provide those services so that way we can get them admitted into their institutions and hopefully their dream institutions. And the earlier you come, the more work we can get done to make sure that they're actually really competitive for a lot of those dream institutions. But I won't get on that soapbox of what competitiveness is, white man space. All right. Y'all can, I'm gonna put my email in the chat if you ever want to reach out to me. It's marlongreen@alumni.lsu.edu.
Nice. Thanks, Marlon. And Alexis.
All right. Well, thank you so much for having me and the Spill It team in general. Super excited to talk to you guys today. So I am with Spill It Card Game. So we provide a card game experience to provoke unfiltered, authentic conversations over a glass of wine or 2 or 3, whatever you like. To play with your family and friends. We have a wine night edition here. And then we also have a family DUI discussions under the influence edition as well that you can play with like your grandma, aunts, cousins, cool uncles, whoever you want to, just to bring good conversations to the table, especially as Black people and as Black families. We need to start talking more, healing each other more, bringing up issues, bringing up fun issues, light issues, generational traumas, curses. So we touch on a little bit of all of that in a very fun, lighthearted way. We also provide, we also do game nights every month as well. So follow us on social media at Spill It Card Game. And also our website, www.spillitcardgame.com. We host game nights that you can come and play with us. We'll host it for you. Or we also do like on hosting events if you would like to have us come host a game night for you and like a close group of friends or whoever. So super excited. I'll drop the info in the chat as well. So, but thank you guys for having me. Super excited. And we're coming out with a relationship edition as well. So I'm gonna be reaching out to you guys for interviews and one-on-ones, and so y'all can be some of my testers for our relationship edition. So if I hit you up, just like, hey, just say you remember me. Just say it. Just feel good.
We're gonna remember you, girl. We're gonna remember you. Thank y'all so much. And I just want to say thank y'all for having me host this as well. It's been so fun. It's been nice networking and meeting you guys and just having these conversations with people who look like me. So that's very important, you know, and I definitely appreciate just being here and being in this space with you guys. Just to go over kind of a little bit of what I do. My name is Jakayla, obviously. It's amazing to be here. I'm an entrepreneur, have been an entrepreneur, a businesswoman in business since literally 2013. Dropped out of college to follow my dream, and it's been up ever since. So I've literally, this is what I eat, sleep, breathe. This is what I've been doing literally for the past like 10 more than 10 years now? No, almost 10 years now. I can't count apparently. But my husband and I, we own a service-based business and we contract for the government. We hold a dual contract here in South Carolina, and we've had that for the last 3 years. So business has been good. That's literally his baby, but just like we talked about earlier, I'm more on the managing side and doing all the work behind the scenes to make sure we get the contract and keep the contract and stuff like that with compliance and all that stuff. So what I focus now on is helping other people build businesses, because I think that is very important. And I see where we kind of lack the tools and resources to do that. Really, it's just a lack of information. So I love just providing information for people to go out and do that. So that's literally what my consulting firm does, is we provide you information. We help you go from zero to nothing, from nothing to where you need to be. We help you contract with the government. We help you start your business from ground up and grow it. We help you we just literally provide all the tools and resources and information that you need to get to where it is you're trying to go with your business. I have courses that's coming out very soon, so definitely stay tuned. Follow me. My Instagram is @officialjakayla. I'm also on Facebook, but I never get on it, so just follow me on Instagram. And I do look forward to doing this again, because again, I think it's very important to just share space as, African Americans, and provide not only just information on, relationships and Black love and experiences, but also on the business side as well, because there's always people who maybe want to do what it is we're doing and just have no idea how to get started. So things like this is super important. I love that, I was invited to be here. And just thank you again, guys, for having me as well. That's all I got for y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to you guys, Devin and Sinclair.
Much appreciated, Jakayla. And it's crazy how, so small world, we met 2012, right? For the Seek Summer Engineering Experience for Kids in DC, both in college. Right, so Seek.
Wow.
Good stuff. So love how you can get connected with folks and stay connected, and that can kind of come back around full circle. So I appreciate you, answering the call and leading this the panel, and shout out to all the amazing folks on here as well. Good group of family on here. So hope to stay connected with everybody for years to come. Queen, before we officially close out, anything you would like to promote, your socials, yes.
All right. What's up, everybody? My name is Sinclair, nicknamed The Health Nerd. So I did lead the Black Health Workshop, so definitely go check that out. We had some great conversation. But I'm repping today as co-founder of True Health Forever. So definitely check out our website. We have a lot of different health resources. We do have a podcast, the True Health Forever podcast. We have a smoothie ebook available right now, as well as an intermittent fasting plan. So definitely go check us out with all of that available on the True Health Forever website.
Perfect. And again, appreciate y'all for rocking with us for the second annual Black Future Month. This has been amazing, way better than I think we envisioned it happening virtually with everything going on. Definitely looking forward to another year next June. So if you like what you experienced this year, or you want to help take it to the next level, definitely get in contact with us, whether it's a virtual event or an in-person event next year. We're definitely going to try to keep this going, or we're not going to try, we're going to keep this going and keep growing every single year. So we appreciate you. You can go to junebfm.com in order to get recordings, and you can go to imifoundation.com to learn more about what we're doing through IMI. We appreciate you. Y'all stay healthy. Go ahead and watch Jason's Lyric, Love Jones 3, Love and Basketball. Go ahead and get some Black love this evening. And Marlon, tell Avery we said what's up. But appreciate you. Stay healthy, y'all.